Grunge became a noun. It seemed a way to pigeonhole a bunch of bands.
Along the way, somebody decided to call it grunge.
What is grunge? Does it involve a flannel shirt?
Yes! Welcome to the Grunge. We are a podcast exploring the big four of the Seattle Sound, everybody. I'm Joseph Rose.
And I'm your co-host, Jeremy Wood.
How's it going, Jerry? What's up?
Nothing much. Everything's great. We are chugging right along. This has caught major traction. 4 extra Twitter followers, bringing us sub 20, but still enough that I respond to people.
Jerry is in control of our Twitter. For those of you new to the show,
how much you can get right to people. Like I'm very unfamiliar with Twitter, but I can talk to Ryan Reynolds. I can send something to Ryan Reynolds if I tag him.
Yes.
He will see something I did.
You can lob something in the direction of where you think Ryan Reynolds will be.
Do you think Steve Buscemi has one? Because that would be great.
Yeah.
I would love
I bet Buscemi does have one.
Love to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
I just feel powerful, you know? And I see everything. I'm omnipotent. I'm omnipotent,
wow,
omniscient, and omnipresent. And I feel like Twitter finally gives me the godlike powers I've been striving for my whole life.
Well, I wish you good luck with it. For the sake of the show, I hope you do well on the Twitter account.
At the Grunge Pod, you will see a god.
Guys, you want to talk right at Jerry, get on the Twitter and light him up.
I'm a very nice person.
So we're doing an unusual, I suppose, episode today. Our plan here is not to take a look or listen through any particular album. It had been suggested to us to do an episode focused on ourselves, to sort of introduce ourselves a little more thoroughly and, I don't know, let everybody know about us.
This was from a Patreon member.
Yeah, we've gotten a couple suggestions similar, or at least comments about, let's know more about you guys, basically. Let's start right here, though. Before I forget, I hate to ever forget, we've added yet another patron to our stable of Patreon subscribers. We've got Dennis Brzezinski on board with us. Dennis,
that name.
We love you, sir.
That has an athlete type quality to it, like
Dennis Brzezinski.
Takes him down at the 40-yard line, making it 4th and 15. You know, that type, Dennis Brzezinski.
Right. Dennis, you're the man. Thank you so much.
Hitting home runs.
We're going to do our best to
honor you
in our Patreon. So today we're going to go through several comments and emails that we've got from some of you guys, and we're going to talk about ourselves a little bit.
I think that would be the way to go. I mean,
we'll figure it out. We do have some questions that'll help lead the way.
Okay, thank God, because I'm ambushed. We're ambushed. I did not know this was happening today.
Well, you're in for it now, Jerry.
You already knew how I lost my virginity. What else is left? I don't have anything else to talk about.
We've got stories to tell, and if you guys want to hear some of them, then fuck it. Fuck it. I mentioned, Jerry, when I was chatting with you last night, over the phone a little bit, I was like, Jerry and I were texting, rather, and I was feeling kind of fired up. I wanted to talk, and so I was like, come on, let's just do an episode.
Right.
It's better that we didn't, because I was fired up, and I'm, please stop me if I even look like I'm about to go too far. But to be perfectly honest, I've been feeling a little fired up about some current events that have been going on, and I'm not going to get into it. This isn't the time or place. Just suffice to say, I was fired up about some of these current events going on in the world, and goddamn, had I gotten on a mic with a record button last night.
It's super hard to ignore.
I had plenty to say.
It's like things are being pile driven on top of things, and now that everyone has time to really research these things and see them, the injustices and the pandemics and all of this. Cities are on fire. It's a lot more magnified, and it's hard to not have and since we have a voice here, it's hard not to bring it up. But like sometimes this almost comes as an escape for some people.
Yeah. All right, so fuck it, let's escape.
But you were right, and I thought you were fired up because of something else, like you heard a song.
No, I was just You know, accidentally absorbing too much news and images and people, and
It's important to be informed.
Overwhelming.
It's important to be informed in it, and one of the things that comes with that is passion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I completely
well,
get
fuck
it.
all that.
Right?
We got a review. Let's start here, Jerry. There's a mix of good and bad sometimes. All right.
These crush me.
All right.
I don't.
We got a review from a listener. Okay. His name is Christian. Okay. This gentleman, Christian, went ahead and gave us a 5-star, 100% review. Well, hold on before you celebrate. Christian says, "Great show." Great, he says. "I love the banter." Now, here comes the rest. "I love the banter, except for the continual weed, mushrooms chat. Seriously, we get it. You love weed and mushrooms. Good for you."
I concur. You know,
You son of a
completely
bitch.
on
Turn
board
your
with that.
back on me. Just like that.
I am
Just
it's
like that.
Man, pieces of silver, man. I am Judas.
Wow.
And no. So let's. You know what,
Christian, I'm sorry. And to anyone else out there, I'm sorry. I'm just talking about my life. I didn't mean it.
One part.
I didn't mean to go
It's one
overboard.
part of your life that you have. And again, I'm new to public consumption as
Right.
far as my voice. You've been in the public eye as far as locally and maybe nationally. I don't know, but you've seen these things, and you can take a criticism. For me, it would fall apart.
Sure.
But yes, we know we all like marijuana and mushrooms, and it's
Well,
part of
here's
it.
the thing. Well, we can use this as a jumping off point. We're here to talk about ourselves a little bit, and I'm not going to talk all about weed and mushrooms, don't worry. But just let me say that this is a thing about me that's significant, I guess.
part of your life.
You know, I'm a gentleman of a certain age.
Never know.
Now, for the longest time, many, 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 many years between birth and much later in life, I was a part of a lifestyle that to many is known as straight edge. Straight edge. So let me simplify by saying I'd never experienced any substances, not a beer, not a cigarette, not a joint, not a you name it.
This is when I met you. I met
Nothing.
you when you were straight edge, and this was a huge part.
I
of it.
didn't do any of that, and I was sure that was going to be my path for the rest of my life. I was sure of it because, as you know, as a 19-year-old man, I knew everything.
Yeah.
As most 19-year-olds do. I knew everything. I was 100% sure. I had the right answers, and I knew how it was going to be. It wasn't until much, much, much later in life that I started to give some thought to changing that around, to changing that about myself. I started asking myself a lot of questions, and basically, you know, I knew why I was straight edge. I had a lot of clear reasons why I was. I could have laid them all out for you, but I didn't know why I was straight edge anymore. I gave it a lot of thought. I was asking myself a lot of questions, and I dug into it pretty deep. It wasn't a flippant thing. I didn't make any, quick decisions about anything like that. I was reading a lot. I was writing a lot. I was interviewing people, and this was over a basic idea like, hey, should I try weed? Like I'm, well into adulthood.
Yeah.
And I dug way into it. So I won't make it a long story. Believe me, I could tell this story over the course of a couple of hours, but the short version is I asked myself a lot of questions, and the answers I came up with as an adult were different than the ones I came up with as a much younger man. And so I changed some things around. I opened myself up to what I consider to be organic substances, which means cannabis, mushrooms, and a natural psychedelic called DMT. We won't get into all of that, but I'm very happy with the decision I made and the results that I've gotten from these things. And I'm glad that I did it the way I did it later in life.
You think about it, the impulsivity of youth, you just do these things. Okay, here's that, take it. I think that it's probably, if everyone took a deep dive into what they were ingesting, it would probably be a better experience all the way around, understanding. So but I can only imagine the apprehension that you had to deal with. It's hard to break something you believed in for, I mean, what, a decades?
Yeah, for really long. I mean, let's see. Like I said, I was always straight edge as a kid. You know, by the time when I was 18 years old, I already had a straight edge tattoo. Like I was straight edge, you know, and I was set. So let me see. I didn't change that until I was 37 years old.
Wow.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's something.
37.
And you had to deal. I mean, you went through basically the salad days of what could be considered not abuse, but consumption. Watching other people fall on their face, you completely overdo it, making terrible statements, fighting. I mean, the things that some substances.
All my peers were, I guess, your average,
teenagers,
shithead kids that are doing
their thing,
whatever they do.
Everything, but I can't imagine being surrounded by that.
Yeah,
and especially being you were a musician. You are a musician, so it's like you have nothing. But the people in the crowd are on something. Most of them are.
Yeah,
are,
for sure.
The people you're playing music with are usually on something. Maybe not till the end. But there's always people imbibe. So I can't imagine being in this. You're almost in a vacuum. You're alone.
Yeah, I was surrounded by maniacs for all of my, youth.
Two different people.
Yeah, as a teenager growing up, especially once I found myself in bands and hanging around, and you want to get a little wild, you want to be rebellious, and we looked up to all these fucked up bands, and we saw what they were doing, and surely that was the way.
And I actually experimented with that, but by proxy, because I didn't drive till much later. Right. So I had a friend named Marcus who was in NA. He was in NA. So we would basically all we did was just stay up and drink Jill Cola. This was 2 years of so from 18 to 20, when I left Delco to go to Pottstown. I basically for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, went and did that. Didn't have anything. So I would go to park, and you can find that you can. It's like being a small child, you can manipulate those types of. He took great joy in manipulation. So and you would somebody who was drunk would be open to anything, suggestion, nothing devious, but you would say things and they would agree, and it just came off as farce. So to see it from that other side, if you didn't know what was before, up till 37, you were just being yourself. For 2 years, it was just I know I'm going back to whatever I'm going to do, but now I saw it from the other side. So it's helped me grow. Really, I think everyone should be at one point be completely chemical free. We're talking caffeine. Everything, just to see how they really are. Yep. And recently, I did that I quit smoking, falling off that wagon, back to work, So I'm
You're getting back to smoking?
I'm trying not to.
Jerry.
I know, dude. I know. It's a huge failing. Believe you me, I feel the shame of that.
You're a father. You're a father.
I am. But I am feeling the shame of that because I went 52 days. I mean, I'm the type of person who doesn't like the work.
You don't want to smoke those cigarettes,
No,
Jerry.
I don't. But
there's no fun there.
God damn, it felt so
They
good.
take away all your money.
And
they make you stinky.
You know what's great about them, though, other than all the things it's killing you? You can leave. I mean, it's killing you. You smell bad. I mean, it's a disgusting habit.
Yeah.
But damn it, you can get out of any situation. If I'm not happy with this conversation, it's I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. Midway through, with that guy I just talked to. All right, well, I'm gonna get off the phone. I'll go. Okay. You smoke. Whatever was happening is over. It's a period at the end of the sentence. You get to leave the room. Sure. You can't imagine what it was like when everything was smoking like that. You watch Mad Men. All they do is just what's this? Drinking amber fluid and smoking the whole time. I'm like, man, the '60s. Well, that might have been my era.
Wild time. Yeah, we got to get you off the cigarettes, Jerry.
We're working on that.
All right, so we've got several messages and things here. Let's get into some of these. One of our fantastic Patreon members, Dylan.
I love Dylan.
He wrote quite a message. Let's get through some of this. He said, "I'd recommend Sweet Oblivion from the Screaming Trees." We got a suggestion for Screaming Trees generally before. And Dylan is recommending Sweet Oblivion, the album. Also, totally support the idea of including peripheral, non-Seattle, later-era grunge bands like Stone Temple Pilots and, dare I say, Bush, Candlebox, Live. What about Soul Asylum, who were grunge adjacent?
That guy, that lead singer, was like a mascot to me.
Who's that?
Grunge, back when I was in full on with Wu-Tang Clan and And those types of bands were thinking when I was full on hip hop, when I looked at that lead singer for Soul Asylum, the White Boy Dreads,
that guy,
Run away, he's sad, and I was like, that guy is certainly what I think this should look like.
Yeah,
he
I
had
wasn't
flannel,
into that.
the Kurt Cobain sweater vest. I mean, whatever the sweater, with the buttons. I was like, that guy is who I would be. I was wearing white shorts.
Look,
and Jordans,
I'm definitely
so.
open.
I think Stone Temple
open.
Pilots, even on Twitter, like people are very interested.
Yeah,
in
I've been digging around some of these grunge like Facebook groups and stuff, to see what's going on, let people know about the podcast, and I see a lot of STP, Scott Weiland stuff floating around in there.
The Crow soundtrack has to be on there somewhere. I mean, that thing.
Yeah, I'm open. I'll do it. I mean, if you guys are really into this stuff, let us know. Yeah. Drop a line anywhere. Suggest some albums that you would like to,
even if we don't like
see us go into. Yeah, we don't have to like it. I mean, most of them I have not heard.
Everclear is the only one I will say never. That's not grunge. That's alt rock. But Everclear. Grunge. Oh my God, you bring up Everclear. I lose my mind. I don't know what it is. Huh? God damn it.
I was not either.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they might have had like a catchy song or two.
Daddy gave me a name.
That's about it. So Dylan. Yeah, everybody out there, you want to drop us a line?
We do disagree with one thing.
What's that?
Is KRS-One.
Oh, let me not miss all of Dylan's message here. Hold on. Not to belabor the Biggie point, I too did not like Biggie while he was alive. I was a big-time West Coast guy. Much later, like 10 years ago, I realized that the Diddy Bad Boy Association sullied the pure spirit of Biggie. Biggie himself is a giant. Yes. I love KRS-One too. Like maybe top 5 love, but I'm going to let you guys off the hook on that one. He can be a bit pretentious in an interview now.
That is
true.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, KRS-One top 5. I can't agree with that.
Yeah. But I'm not even really making that much of a comment on KRS-One as a rapper. Like, I wasn't like a big fan of him as a rapper, but as a person who talks in documentaries, fuck, he's KRS-One.
Everywhere.
I can't do it.
If you want to watch him on a lot of things, watch the Beef documentaries. Beef is a great series of documentaries about rapper Beef.
Have you watched the Hip Hop Evolution series on Netflix?
I started it. I had a friend of mine.
It's legit.
It's real, and it's surprising.
Okay, we got a message from our pal Jess Elson Peter. Jess, how are you? Let's see. She writes, hey guys, first off, don't worry about the recording mishap. Mistakes happen, no worries. She's referring to our bonus episode?
We didn't record the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes of a recent bonus episode got lost to the nether realm. And that was Jerry's fault. As far as things to talk about, why don't you tell us more about yourselves? Joseph, we don't know too much about you, and we know a little bit more about Jerry. Let us know about the guys making this. Another idea now that you're listening to all these sequentially, I was wondering if you were, let me get this straight here. I was wondering if your thoughts on these bands or any one individual musician has changed. That'd probably be more reoccurring theme as this goes on. Lastly, is there anything you'd like to know about your patrons? So let's tackle some of this. Yes, we did fuck up that episode. We're going to try really hard not to let that happen again. Let us know more about the guys making this and the stuff about our opinions changing on any bands or individual musicians.
Yeah, I think Soundgarden was the big one. I mean, we did a heaping helping of Soundgarden right off the bat.
Yeah.
I was unaware how refined Chris Cornell was even at a young age. Like, I had no idea. Like, but to listen from the first album to this album, you're seeing like a musician grow, and I was unaware of that.
Yeah, nothing new to me, I guess, beyond the fact that I guess my appreciation for those first couple of Soundgarden albums has just kind of been boosted a bit. I never was like negative about them.
They were there,
but I feel better about them now. There's more there.
And also Mother Love Bone's existence just floored me, and I wish to again I don't usually feel that way about music. I don't really feel one way or another about music, that I wish I knew about that right off the bat.
Yeah. I expect there will be a little bit more since we're still very early days. In the timeline here, we're still in 1990. I expect to. I don't know that my opinion will be wildly changed about anything, but I expect some things at least along the lines of that Soundgarden. Be reminded of some albums,
Yeah, I think
or maybe
also,
even some bands. Yeah,
me and you talking too. Like I can get a perspective, your perspective, and you can get my rudimentary perspective on these types of things. But like it's going to be a learning experience as we go along and all the way. It makes this constructive and sort of almost educational.
yeah. This is education, guys.
The EI will go over to the side. It means educational. I don't know what the I stands for.
Neither do I. Let's see. Oh, and she wants to know about us. She has some further questions. So Jess wrote quite a bit to us. Jess, we love your contributions here.
Thank you.
Things Jess would like to know. Joseph, because Jerry already told us what he does for work, what kind of job do you have? Also, tell us about your band, if you don't mind. Hey, all right, let's take this one thing at a time.
Opened that damn.
So what do I do for a living? The true answer is as little as possible. My primary gig is called Blackheart Letterpress. You may have heard me do an impromptu advertisement for that business. I'm a letterpress printer, if you have any idea what that means. A letterpress is an old... It's a form of printing. It's a type of printing press. The one that I own is about 100 years old now. It's in the corner of this very room that we use to record. It's a giant cast iron, 1,500-pound, 100-year-old printing press. I design a line of silly greeting cards and postcards, and I sell them primarily wholesale to shops and people around the globe, Jerry.
Internationally known Blackheart Letterpress.
Yeah, shops on at least 3 or 4 continents.
Oh, wow.
Continents
I had no idea.
have sold my goods.
Using almost a Johannes Gutenberg style method.
Not quite that old, but yes. But yes.
I've been to that museum.
Which museum?
Gutenberg Museum. I've been there.
Where at?
As a child. It's in Europe. It's in Germany.
Oh, okay.
We went there. We were there as children. We saw the smallest Bible ever printed.
Wow.
Very interesting stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that little tidbit. There's something you know about me.
Yeah,
But
that's my primary gig, and I get into whatever I can get into. I'll take on some weird, creative, odd jobs here and there. I've made aerial video for construction company
You've
dudes.
done a lot of things.
I taught music production for a few years at a high school in Center City, Philadelphia, and at a studio near there. Did music production. Yeah.
You're a dynamic creature.
Yeah.
I've had
And
to see
now I'm just living large on podcast money.
Yeah, straight stacking
Podcast
ships,
money.
amateur broadcast, and trying to get this man to space. You know what I mean?
I'm going to be placing an order for that Tesla any day now.
Right. But I'm glad Jessica did ask how you make your money, and it was always something that confounded me because you popped up and you existed, you own things, and I was wondering, well, how'd that happen? And now I know.
I mostly, to be honest, that's my primary gig. And especially now, as we're recording this, we're still in the midst of a global pandemic that has, caused quite a bit of financial trouble for businesses, especially smaller businesses all around the world. And mine has definitely taken the hit. Right. I mean, most of my sales were wholesale, which means we sell our products to other businesses and they sell those products in their stores. Well, all the stores are closed and have been closed for months now. And so nobody's ordering. Yeah. And so I'm just living large on podcast money.
I'm going to tell you, man, from experience, being in auto sales and all that stuff, people are pent up. Yeah. When this thing comes back on, it's going to be so much. I mean, this is my experience. Is that it will be a floodgate of business. I mean, people are waiting. The floods it will open up. The taps will be right. Yeah, it's a thing.
I mean, I mostly live through the generosity of independently wealthy young women. That's how I mainly survive.
There is a word for that. I don't know what that is.
All right. So what else did Jess have to say? Also, tell us about your band. She did ask, Jerry.
Open it up, man. I have no problem with that.
Okay, Jess. Since you asked, we're going to talk about it. I am the member of a 2-piece rock and roll band called Knolling Bones. KNOLLING Bones.com. Knolling Bones. We're a 2-piece band. Myself, along with my fantastic drummer, Julie. I play the bass and sing in the band. What can I say about it?
I think it's a dynamic sound. I for me personally, if you're not going to toot your horn, I'll toot your horn.
Let's toot it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up on the toot. It's a dynamic sound, loud, good rock and roll. It's a rock and roll band.
Okay, here's what I'll say. I'm not going to play my band and stuff. You can go check it out, knowingbones.com. The most important thing about my band, the whole purpose of it is to showcase the sound of my bass, because this is how I will toot my own horn. My bass is badass. My bass tone is so fucking gnarly. Right. I love it.
Coupled
really.
With your Freddie Mercury-esque lyric.
Well, sure.
Voice.
Say what you want about my vocal style. That's fine. It's not. I understand it's not for everyone. I'm under no delusion that I am a young Sebastian Bach. I am not.
2 weeks ago.
Well, whatever. Yeah, look, can I bring some genuine rock power to a track? Hell yes, bitch, I can and do. However, the main focus for me is the sound of that killer bass. I mean, really. I am not some super skilled bass player by any means. I'm all about musical minimalism in this band. However, the actual sound of that bass, oh my Lord, it is something to behold.
Well, maybe we'll do a bonus episode.
It is. Well, at some point, I'm going to find an excuse to play my band on this podcast. Just don't worry.
Every musician does it.
Let's see. What part of the country are you guys living in?
The Philadelphia suburbs in Pennsylvania.
Yes, we live just a little south of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. You will hear me say water, which is a very
you won't hear me say it.
He won't say it. And I had a girlfriend tell me that I sounded like a hick when I said that. This is like a city thing. She's like, and I have no problem with our southern listeners, but she called me a hick. And she was like, I was like, wait, I'm from Chester. Chester is a very big city down here. And and I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. So she was from Maryland. So like I had to alter it, and saying water for the first time just felt weird. I
don't know, man. I don't understand this. This is inside baseball for people that live in our area. I'm not going to get all into it, but it is weird.
New Yorkers
some of these pronunciations.
Water.
It's a little weird.
Crick.
Yeah, I never get that one.
No, I didn't.
I don't understand
I don't do that one.
So Jess, we live just outside of Philadelphia. Outside of creating this podcast, what do you like to do for fun in your spare time, Jerry?
I make 30-second videos about cars and things and other things. I tried to do some advertising, like to involve my kid, editing small videos.
You like to make little fun videos.
I like to make fun videos.
Yeah.
Sometimes it backfires, but like sometimes
Sure.
Fun is offensive, and we're trying to. I'm trying to curb that here. Make this all inclusive. But
good luck.
But I like to do that. Hanging out with my kid, going to parks. I love my daughter, my wife. So there's that. It's a cop out hobby. We do a lot of painting. We go to Michael's and get some canvases. We go to places and do some landscapes. It's just neat. It's a new passion for me.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn how to paint with oils, and I did charcoal, but it really just looked like somebody did a burnout on a piece of paper. But I'm learning. So just hanging out with the kid, doing things.
Yeah. What do I like to do? I like to do a lot of stuff.
This
honestly.
being one of them.
Yeah. I love making a podcast. I also have a child. I am a father of a 12, nearly 13-year-old boy.
In for it.
My son also has autism. That is a thing worth mentioning, I guess, considering that it plays a significant role in the way life goes for me and my son. He's about to turn 13. That is crazy.
That is nutty. It makes me feel old.
What else? I can't. He's not my hobby though. Let's see. What else do I like to do? I love records. In this cool garage that we're recording in, I also host, when there isn't a global pandemic, I host a recurring record club with groups of friends. We come in and we turn down the lights and turn on the lasers.
I gotta see these lasers one day.
Yeah,
I want to see the lasers.
And we listen to some nice records, usually vinyl, not exclusively. And we have a great time. I love music the most. Music is number one for me.
Right.
It's all about music. I love listening to music, talking about music, making music, recording, writing, playing live. I love music.
I could go without it. Could come and go. Don't
All
really
right.
care about music too much.
What else? What am I into? I don't know. I have 2 dogs. I think there is a question coming up. Yeah, she does. Most importantly, I want to know about any and all pets.
Oh, well, we have cats. You have dogs.
You have cats.
We have 2 cats.
Tell me about these little cats.
We have Lily. We had We had adopted her and our brother. Our brother since sadly has passed. But then we got another cat. There are 2 little black cats, Lily and Sebastian. Sebastian is no longer with us.
Oh.
But we've replaced them with Gizmo, the tabby. Gizmo is a real asshole sometimes, but it's
I
nice.
fucking hate cats.
I find that they're roommates. I've always
Yeah.
I've always wanted. I had dogs when I was a kid.
Cats they're rude to me.
They're rude to everybody.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They'll come just sit on your computer. Here's a thing on a shelf. I'm gonna fuck it up just for no reason.
Well, that's what it is. My cat. Well, if I have a pair of black pants on, this cat is orange and white.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
it
yeah.
will just take its time and say, like, let me just rub on you.
And the
bit.
hair everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And then here's another thing that cats do, in case you people live on another planet and don't know about cats. People allow cats to just shit indoors in their house, and they accept that. I'm going to put a box over here in this corner.
Right.
You guys are going to just shit in it inside in the house,
Yeah.
and we're going to, we'll deal with it later.
I'm good with it. It doesn't.
Fuck you.
Yeah, but a dog will say, like, I got to go to the bathroom. You have to get up and do whatever you were doing
Shit.
is minimal.
I got 2 dogs.
Yeah.
All right. I have 2 Boston Terriers. One is a real Boston Terrier. That's Walter, who's a little younger than Donnie, who is a little bit of a mix. Donnie is the greatest dog in the world. Walter, I love Walter. Make no mistake, I do love him. He's a fool. He's an idiot.
He's the purebred, though, right?
He is. Yeah. Donnie is a miracle. But anyway, I have a little dog door on the back door. So the dogs just come in and out freely. And if they need to go, they just go.
That's a luxury that you have. A lot of people don't.
I mean, you can just
apartment dogs
get a dog door. Oh, apartment dogs. Well, shit.
A good apartment. I've been researching dogs, trying to see maybe Ed, maybe the wife wouldn't.
You would like a
I
dog?
would like a dog. Apparently, greyhounds are great apartment dogs.
really?
But if they get away from you, it's sort of curtains. You're not going to be able to catch that thing.
Yeah.
And now that I think they stopped doing dog racing in Florida, so now you can get them
Right.
as young puppies or even young adults. So it's something we're looking to. I can't do a small dog. Chihuahuas
No.
hate me.
Yeah, fuck a Chihuahua.
They absolutely despise me. There's something about them. Even when they're in the bag in the supermarket.
They
it
hate
looks like-
everyone. They're just miserable little bastards.
Where I'm only 5'6". I'm thinking we have a kinship. You're small. I'm small. I only get little.
You're
man's
like the
disease
Chihuahua of humans.
of humans. Only when I drink gin am I a Chihuahua in that respect. Or just we bumping into me. The only time I get little man's disease. And I used to think that was just me being me because I don't believe in alcohol's doing differently. But gin, man.
Oh,
I've
you
gotten
should
into more
believe in it.
fist fights on gin, which is only by 2, but still that's more than whiskey,
Right.
or beer.
Right.
So
So you would like a dog.
I would love a dog.
The wife is not necessarily all keen on a
No,
dog?
it's not me. It's not her. It's me. Because I work retail hours. So
yeah.
I'm 9 to 9 and all that other stuff. So it's like I essentially hey, I bought a dog, but I'm really just giving my wife a dog
Right.
and I'm leaving.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
out.
not gonna see that
That thing's
dog.
not even gonna know my name and it's gonna attack me. Nah, man.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah,
my
I hear you.
here's a Rottweiler.
Yeah, I have the 2 little guys, Donnie and Walter. They are named, of course, for characters in The Big Lebowski, a fantastic movie.
Love that movie.
Everyone should go check that one out. So there you go, Jess. What else was in here? Podcasts. Oh, what's a fun and crazy story that you feel comfortable sharing that a lot of people don't know?
A lot of people don't know. That's none of your business, Jessica.
You don't have a good story? Man, I don't even know. What the fuck story was
There's a lot of them, but they usually involve other people I still talk to.
Well,
And
you
so
can, you can conceal their identity here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of something that's antiseptic.
Yeah, gosh, I wish I would have
I didn't prepare for this.
Yeah, I got to say, guys, if you send us emails or messages through Patreon or Instagram or anything, I may answer it. I may not answer it. So if you notice that I read your message and don't respond to it, don't think that I'm being rude. I'm just responding to that message for on the show like this. So don't think that I'm read your message and I'm ignoring you. It's just a matter of time. I will, in fact, answer it probably on the show.
I'll be on the show. For me personally, we're at the Grunge Pod.
Yes.
You'll get an immediate response.
Jerry
and
will
I
get
won't
right back to
save
you.
anything. I'm trying to think stories that are
A good tale.
a good tale.
Gosh, I should have prepared for this.
There's always the one.
Let's see. I mean, I have a lot of stories that would take forever to tell. I'll try to, let's see. Okay, here's a story since we're talking about the 90s. In 1996, pretty positive it was 96. So we're talking early internet, early like consumer internet. We had dial-up modems. It was a real, boy, did it not resemble the internet that we have right now. It was a tremendous,
I remember that
It was a tremendous,
vividly.
limited pain in the ass to do anything with this. And I had some sort of AOL service, America Online.
I have said the same name since I started that.
Oh, yeah?
It's always been Astro Cracker.
Astro Cracker.
But I don't have it. But yeah, I mean, what was your AOL handle?
Oh, gosh, I don't even know. I don't remember.
I was trying to start a rap group. I was going to be the Space Age White Boy,
Okay.
and it didn't work out.
Wow.
Go on.
I don't remember, actually. I can't remember. Let's see. So, okay, how do I make this into a digestible story? Long story short, I was on this internet, and I found, somehow I connected on this AOL with a beautiful young woman around my age. I believe she was maybe a year younger than
Messenger?
myself. I don't know. No, this was like AOL.
But there was an AOL message or chat room.
Or something. It was like in the AOL like walled garden of the internet. It was in the AOL universe. Like it wasn't even I don't know. It was a limited little
You got a disc
Yeah,
with Chandler and Joey
Yeah.
from Friends on it, and then
So anyway, I met this girl. So I'm living out here near Philadelphia. She was a Mormon living in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Utah.
Okay. So I'm out here. I'm having a whole bunch of difficulties in my young life with high school, and I was in a band at the time, and whatever. So we're talking online, and everything's great. And she sent me some pictures of herself. How did she send these pictures, Jerry? Through the mail.
Oh my God!
Through the post.
postage?
Yeah, through the post.
This is
She got an envelope and stuffed a little handwritten letter in it with a couple little photos of herself. Nice, normal, pretty photos of herself.
Yeah.
Living out there in Salt Lake City. And she was beautiful, and we had this great little rapport going back and forth with each other, and we were going to meet each other. We were going to make this happen.
Was this halfway, or you went all the way to Utah?
Well, let's see.
Okay.
She was out there in Salt Lake City. Her and a whole group of schoolmates were headed to New York City on a group trip project thing related to the United Nations. So they make their way to New York City, and they're doing all their stuff, and they're staying in the New York Hilton and Towers. Okay? I take a train to New York to meet her. Now, on my end of this, she's going to do her school project in New York, the whole thing. On my end, I'm planning my permanent exodus from this region of the country. I'm going to pack a bag. I'm going to take all my shit, and I'm not going to tell anyone I know. And I'm going to get on a train, and I'm never coming back. This is my plan.
A runaway train.
I was on a runaway train. Okay. So I the only person I think that knew was our pal Andy, our good friend Andy. Thank you, Andy. So anyway, I take the train to New York City. We meet up. She brings me into her room at the New York Hilton and Towers, and she has like 2 or 3 other girls also staying in her room. It wasn't like individual rooms. And every night there's a curfew and a check-in, and a teacher or some kind of
Mormons.
chaperone would come in. No, it was nothing related to Mormonism. This was
I
just their school
assumed
trip.
that you had a marm there.
No. She happened to be a Mormon. I mean, there are a lot of Mormons in Salt Lake City, of course, so naturally, whatever.
Shout out to my Mormons.
What's up? So she sneaks me in. We meet. We're in the hotel. Everything's, I guess, going well. And I remember explicitly there's a time when there's a check-in coming. A lady is going to come in this room, make sure everything's cool, and then head out and send these girls to bed. So they got to hide me. They got to stuff me under a bed or in a closet or under a pile of stuff. They hide me. And then, okay, I'm going to try and get through this tale. Anyway, we have a fine time in New York City. at the end of this little stint in New York City, a few days, whatever it was, maybe 3 days, all the girls get back on a plane, fly themselves back to Salt Lake City. I put myself on a Greyhound bus
The best.
from New York City all the way across the country to Salt Lake City, Utah.
And not to interrupt, but those Greyhound bus rest stops are
Not great.
off the charts. There's nothing like you go see a Roy Rogers. It is in the middle of nowhere, and they
Yeah.
stop that bus to do it.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's terrifying.
So, yeah, I get out there finally. It takes a couple of days on the fucking bus, you
You're
know.
there.
I get to Salt Lake City. This girl's family, I think, was a little well-to-do. They were living in a beautiful place in a beautiful neighborhood right in the valley in Salt Lake City. You open the front door of their house, and it is a picturesque view of the mountains. Just stunning, really. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And I would have been happy seeing that every day.
Right.
So, at this time, now again, this girl is 17, I believe. I was 18. She had thick, beautiful, wavy blonde hair. She was beautiful. I had dyed pitch black hair, nearly down to my ass. I was wearing a Marilyn Manson t-shirt, probably black jeans, and maybe some Doc Marten boots or some Vans or something. It looked like a kidnapping. If you were to see the two of us together, you might be tempted to call the police to help this poor girl.
Any more at Utah as well. That would
In Utah, I walk in that house. There is a dad and a mom who are Mormons. I mean, they're not like casually like, yeah, we're kind of Mormons.
No,
they're like Mormons. They're involved. They go to the temple on Sunday. They are Mormons. Her brother was not home. I never met him because he was in some part of the world doing missionary work.
Yeah,
that's what you
have
do.
to do that.
So we hit it off quite well. We'd already known that we'd hit it off, you know. So we hit it off. For whatever reason, this mom and dad had allowed me to come into their home with the idea that I'm going to stay there for a little bit. I'm going to be there. And I stayed there. I was there for, I don't know. I wish I remembered more accurately. Let's call it 2 to 3 weeks. It was those parents' nightmare. It was their nightmare. I was having a great time. They were not having a great time. The parents.
Was there a talk?
Eventually, there was a talk. Yeah. Eventually, this dad came to me, and he made it clear that I was going to be getting the fuck out of his house. And he offered me some money. He said, I'm going to give you a little bit of money. You can get back on the bus and head all the way out west to California, where you can just sleep on a park bench because it's warm pretty much all the time. You'll be fine.
That's the type of thoughtful thing I would expect from a Mormon.
Yeah.
That's nice. Go to San Diego. It's really nice.
Yeah. This guy had discovered his daughter and I topless in his room one too many times. And he decided, no, motherfucker, you're going to get out of my fucking house.
I'm almost on his side a little bit, you know.
Well, Jerry, that's not fair.
I'm just saying.
What would Jesus do?
Well, I don't think their Jesus is different than everyone else. I mean, I'm not going to state that their Jesus is wrong. But that's just strict. But even a guy who wasn't religious, if I saw my, don't perish the thought.
All right. Well, anyway, long story short, I went to Salt Lake City in 1996 because I met a girl on the Stone Age internet.
I love that he took that BYU type education, Brigham Young University, and said, "Listen, man, here's some money. I'm not going to pay you to go back.
You go
to
be
the East
homeless.
Coast. You go be homeless in California."
Yeah, I did not, by the way, guys. I did not go be homeless in California. I sadly put my ass back on a pitiful Greyhound bus and drove all the way back out here and landed right where I had escaped from.
This place, if the name of this place, and I've tried it several times to escape myself, going to Florida, things of that nature, try to get, Monco. There's a place called Delaware County. It's Delco.
This is where we live.
You cannot, you try to leave, And successful people sometimes do, but they only move up to like Chad's Ford, which is only like 20 miles up here. They get out of it, or Unionville.
Right.
But there is an inane magnet, and it's almost like you're a fool to defy it. It keeps bringing you back.
It's a hard place to survive in and a hard place to escape from.
Right. It's airplanes, it's Boeing, it's trains now. I mean, we are in this blue collar. I can't even say nightmare. I've learned to accept it because the Halloweens here are great. They give you beer, they give you candy. Not the kids. The kids don't get beer.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know what they do. I'm not speaking for everyone. Not everyone's a saint here. You know, there's a funny 90s story. Mine's quick.
By all means.
I had a friend. I had a friend who was older looking. He had a beard and he had a deep voice. You know, talking like this. You know? So he was able to go get things like alcohol. And me and my brother.
Things like alcohol.
Well, mostly alcohol because that's what he was there for. He was also a good friend of mine.
That's what he was there for.
No, he's a good friend of mine. But
sure.
Still this day. I don't know if he helped me procure this. He might have, because I can't. Back when I was 17, 18, I looked like I was like 11. It was only like 100 pounds. I couldn't grow. I had the longest like fake angel hair mustache, like a real like mustache, but you couldn't see it. Like it was amazing. I got dates because this thing. If I went to kiss a girl, she probably didn't even know it was there until it enveloped her. It looked like the Lorax.
That fucking mic stand. I just want to remind everybody. Sorry to interrupt, Jerry. Jerry still has not gotten a mic stand.
It's on order.
Go ahead.
I will give you that.
You ordered it?
I ordered it.
You did?
We just went for that one.
Okay,
I think mine's purple though. But because I think
I hope it's not purple.
it
But
looked purple.
go on.
Oh yeah.
You had a mustache. It
I had
would
a mustache.
envelop a
Neither
woman.
here nor there, but that's just a side story. I was just amazed that I was attractive to the female gender.
Yeah.
Or any gender, to be exact. I was probably females or males. But we had purchased the most 90s thing ever for a football party. I didn't know anybody. My brother knew everybody. It was this big football party. It was gonna be no parents were there. It was like one of those things. And I come up and I got a case of that good shit Zima. And I have never been shit on more for bringing alcohol to a party. And they were like, "What the fuck is this?" Blah, blah, blah. It's something different. This stuff that party was eventually raided. And there was a guy.
Now the perception was that Zima was not necessarily.
It wasn't the most masculine thing. It tasted like
right.
Sprite, and people would put Jolly Ranchers in it, so that it would taste like a Jolly Rancher.
better.
I mean, it didn't. As far as testosterone goes, it ranked very low on that scale.
Right.
But like it made a comeback a couple years ago for a second.
Really?
Yeah, and then it went away again. As it did. The guy from Studs, you remember Studs? There's a show called Studs, and he would give you hearts if you got right answers. And then I don't know what the end of I think you went home with whoever. It was like a dating game.
Okay.
I don't know if you were sold to slave. I don't know.
Studs.
It was called Studs. It was on Channel
Not ringing
17.
a bell.
Well, he was
Maybe.
the spokesperson. He was the spokesperson for Zima.
Okay.
And later that party got raided. And the real end of the story is that Zima is not good apparently to people who play sports.
So wait a minute.
Then we already got raided by the cops.
What is the story?
All I'm telling you is I brought Zima to a party.
Okay.
That's about as good as it's going to get, me personally. You already know what I do. That's enough.
Jerry does
buy a car.
He sells used automobials.
I sell new cars and used cars.
New and used.
New and used.
Okay.
But the party got raided. And that one guy, we're sitting there. I have my hands on a cop car. And I'm like, and this guy starts yapping, just yelling at cops. He's like, "Yo, man, shut up. He's got shotguns." And the other guy goes, "Fuck that shotgun. I got a dick." And I remember being like, man, that's not gonna win.
What does that even mean?
I don't know because it stopped there.
Right.
The guy told us to shut up.
Oh man, fun jail stories, Jerry.
Fun jail stories. Next up.
Okay, I won't get all into the story, but I'll just say that I did once go to jail for traveling at midnight to at the time my current guitar player's house. I was arrested after midnight at my former guitar player's house for going there to try to kill him. I did not kill him, and I only ended up spending one night in jail, and it ended up being fine.
Okay.
So that's that story. We'll move on from that.
I don't know. Just let that sit.
We got another message from a man. We don't know his Christian name. He is going by Dougie Style.
I love
believe.
this guy.
All right, we're going to get into it. Dougie Style writes, "Hey there, Joseph and Jeremy. I just stumbled upon your podcast today when I looked up grunge on Spotify, and I'm so glad I did. I've been waiting on a podcast to cover grunge for a while as I'm a diehard fan of this genre. I got into grunge in the early 2000s when I was in high school, and it quickly became an obsession. He goes on to say, grunge is my favorite subgenre and era of rock. I started my own blog last year called the Dougie Style Club, a gay man's take on popular music. So yeah, when it comes to grunge, I'm your gay. I've listened to the first 2 episodes and I'm looking forward to hearing how this show shakes out. Dougie Style. We love you. Thank you.
I thanked him for to Twitter. He's very interested in hearing some Stone Temple Pilots.
Okay.
And a couple other things.
He's another vote for Stone Temple Pilots.
Another guy on Stone Temple Pilots. An excellent blog too. I recommend you go to it.
Oh, you check out his blog?
Oh yeah. I mean, we have to. I mean,
Okay.
this cat. He's a dynamic creature, man.
All
So
right.
it's
Hey,
very interesting
Dougie
stuff.
Style. Everybody check out what Doug is up to. Let's see. We got some questions. We got a question come in on Instagram from Canon KP. Are you doing the Unplugged albums? He wanted to know.
It's on the list, right?
We're going to do them.
It's on the list. But
Hell yes.
we talked about this a couple days ago. The true release date of a certain album versus the performance of that.
Yeah.
certain
So yes. Well, so to answer your question directly, we are definitely going to do the Unplugged albums. They're on the list. We're definitely doing them. There's a couple variables here. So let's take anyone applies. Let's take Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam does the MTV Unplugged on whatever date, I don't remember, in 1992. So there are a few dates here. There's the date that they recorded that show, the date they did it. Then there's another date, which is the date it aired on TV for the first time. And then there's another date, which is when that album, the Unplugged performance, was released on DVD. And then yet another date much later when that album was released for the first time in an audio format. So what do? Which is the real date? And then the other conundrum is, are we doing an episode that is on the album? Are we doing the album? Or are we doing the video, the video performance that aired on MTV? So we don't necessarily have 100% locked in answer on all this. Something we've toyed with, I think, Jerry.
Video.
Yeah, of covering the video like on video. So if in case you don't know, we do the podcast on video also. You can access these on YouTube and watch us do the podcast if you want to see how beautiful we are as we sit in the garage and do this.
If you watch me on fast speed, you'll see me move a million times. It's insane.
Jerry wiggles around. He's very twitchy. He's wearing short pants. It's a whole thing.
I am wearing them.
Red short pants.
Yeah, Philadelphia Phillies short pants. I bought.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that since this is sort of a nostalgia thing, again, also a musical review site, but I think the video is what people remember. Like the expressions.
Sure. Video is pretty important.
The cello player from the Nirvana Unplugged. I mean, you look at her, you had no idea that My Girl could be such a great song,
Yeah.
From them, at least.
So what I would like to do is, maybe we'll do a version of it for the normal podcast feed. And then as a bonus episode for the Patreon subscribers, maybe we'll do one with the video. Like we'll show the video as we watch the video.
It's a watch along.
Yeah, we'll do a little watch along, and that would be a fun way to do it, perhaps. So we're going to work out the timeline, when exactly they should fit in, but 100% we are doing all of the Unplugged albums.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Okay, who do we got here? Our dude, Andy, from Patreon, our friend Andy, says, who do you think you are? How do you view yourself in relation to this podcast?
What?
I'm not sure what he's getting at. He wants to know, who do we think we are? Jerry, I'm going to let you take that one.
Untapped resources. That's what we were.
First of all, Andy, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, I don't know, Andy.
No,
who are you, sir, to ask a question like that?
What we are is something that came together. First off, our lifestyles were a little bit different. So if we were talking
Sure.
about the dynamic, trying to dissect it, which is also very pretentious. So what makes this work is that he's a different man. He deals in artisanal notes, and he works.
Jerry's more of a square, and I'm not. That's what he's trying to
That's
say.
sort of it. And I deal in dinosaur killing murder machines, and he has a 1,500-year letterpress or whatever, 100-year-old letterpress. So there's a difference. And again,
not all that
I
different at the
am
end of the
actually
day.
quite comfortable being the square. I actually like the idea.
I mean, we're not really all that different. I
Not
mean,
entirely.
You know, people are different. Everybody's different, but we're not so fucking different.
No. I mean, this would not work
Yeah.
if we were two diametrically opposed. Mushrooms. I'm leaving.
I'm not talking about weed or mushrooms because we're going to upset a certain
No, we're
portion
done. But
of the audience.
But no one's gonna get up. It's also learning new things. Today, that story with the straight edge thing. It's a good deep dive.
Yeah. Now, I guess. Well, here, since we're God, fuck, Andy, how dare you ask this question?
Because now
first of all.
we have to revisit.
But let me say, we're busy talking about ourselves today. This episode is just filling up our egos. Really,
so good.
it feels so good. We're just talking about ourselves. So I mentioned this whole story about my history being straight edge and all of that stuff. So I have a little website that I keep, and what I use it for, it's like sort of a generalized portfolio,
dump
of random stuff, projects that I do. I make a type of video. I do a project. I write a thing, whatever. I put it there. Like this podcast is a project on that website. So anyway, my personal website is hereliesjosephRose.com.
I did not know this existed.
On that website, you will find a link to some essays that I write about various topics on the website medium.com. There is a 3-part series on there that I called Straight Edge to Psychonaut, and I wrote 3 separate essays describing my journey from straight edge through the current day. It explains why I was straight edge, what my thoughts were, how I went about it, and then part 2 talks about why I was thinking about changing my mind and what I was thinking about as I was considering a change. And then part 3 is all about how I did make the change and how it went and what I felt about it and blah, blah, blah. So if you want to check all into that type of stuff and other assorted essays and projects, here lies josephRose.com.
What an interesting question. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Such a double-edged sword, you know.
Yeah,
It could be-
Andy.
so who do you think you are? I mean, it's very aggressive.
It is.
I did not expect that from him.
We got another message through Patreon from our pal Crystal. Crystal, what's up? We love you. Thank you so much.
Love that name.
She wants to know, what were your best and worst concert experiences, and when do you think we'll be able to go to a show again? You have any standout concert experiences?
Outcast was a fantastic concert.
That's like a favorite.
I love the Outcast album. I think it was for Aquamin but they did a lot of stuff from the steels of Aquamin and I can't say it correctly. That's the one with hope for a bus. You know, I mean, it's called fuck it. It's a band.
Okay.
Outcast. But I remember that was a really good time. Only because my friend Regis was there. Yeah, all my friends. He kept on taking blunts out of his hair. Like, it was so awesome. It was like, and everyone was on it. Like, everyone was getting down. It was just a really good time, as a good vibe. Worst one was Blink-182. That was no good. I didn't want to go to that. I had gotten free tickets. Silverchair opened up for them. Blink-182 had Silverchair and
Really?
MXPX. Silverchair did not fit because Silverchair.
I would have loved to see Silverchair.
It rocked. Yeah, they were good. I didn't know they were there. It was like Silverchair, and I'm like, oh Jesus! I got up and walked. It was at the Electric Factory in Philadelphia, and I just didn't. I didn't want to. Blink-182 just upset me to no end. But I had gotten free tickets, and I had a bunch of friends who wanted to go. I worked at Sam Goody at the time.
Okay.
So we got promotional tickets from the rep, and then. So we went. I didn't know. I was trying to be punk rock, so I bought a pair of red pants and a Grinch shirt. I thought that was punk.
Grinch.
And, yeah, the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Okay.
I thought it was I thought that would help.
Okay.
I was the only one that was 21. So like I went upstairs and let all the kids play downstairs. I had gotten hammered on gin and tonics. Not gin and tonic. Oh no, it was screwdrivers. Just got blasted. Silverchair I was good with. MXPX and Blink-182, I got hammered. I don't remember. I remember the whole thing though. I couldn't drink enough
Really?
to get away from it. I ended up vomiting.
Wait, so who were you primarily a fan of?
So I didn't know anyone, no one. But
Okay.
then the Silverchair just popped up, like, oh shit, Silverchair, And I was like, oh, I can hear this guy because I know he had just recently been through some shit, So
Sure.
he had. This was in 2000. No, this was in 1998 or 99. 98, 99. I don't remember, but it was during like the Enema album. I have something, Enema of the State, I think was the name of the Blink-182 album.
Right.
And then and again, they were okay, but I vomited. I mean, I made out with a very large woman, and nothing wrong with my big sisters out there, you know what I mean? But
What
she
the
was
fuck was? All right, Jesus Christ, guys out there, I apologize once again for Jerry.
She was very. Well,
I don't condone anything he's saying. I don't.
Don't worry about it. She was not like, she was big, but neither here nor there. But and it's a good thing, big ups. But she
What?
But she
What
but
is
then
this
she made out with
affect
she made
that
out
you
with
get
me.
into?
She made out with me because I was just slammed, and then turned around and made out with another guy that was right next to her. So like
Right.
all of this was ruined. There's always a third party, man. So like, and I remember that. Then I went downstairs, vomited under a black light, and they had to carry me to the car. I didn't drive; somebody else drove. It was fantastic. That was a shitty night.
I'm sorry.
That's my concert story.
I'm sorry that happened to you. Best and worst concerts. Let me see. Well, I can say, well, I have two. Let's see. Yeah, well, one bad one that stands out is I went to a place that currently does not exist anymore, the Trocadero in Philadelphia,
Great place,
to see the band Glassjaw. Glassjaw is a band that I like very much. I like portions of their catalog quite a bit. And this, I think, was the first date of their new tour that they were doing in support of a new EP they'd released called Coloring Book, which is very good. I really enjoy this. And you go to the show, and they were giving the album away. Everybody that went to the show, they give you a copy of the album on the way out. It was great.
awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was the worst sounding show I could have imagined. Like, not like, oh, the sound's not that good. I can't tell you. First of all, it was ear-piercingly fucking loud, like way beyond what the volume ever should be in this venue. And it's not like the mix wasn't right. It's like there wasn't even a mix. It was a terrible, just distorted explosion of sound the whole time. I couldn't decipher what song they were playing because it was so terribly bad. It was just shocking. And I was so pumped. I was eager to see this band. I'd never seen them live before, and I was a fan, and I was like, finally. And then what a fucking disaster. I walked out of there just holding my ears and like, ugh.
So it ruined what is a good song, a good album.
Yeah, it was a
sheer
great
volume.
album, but I couldn't hear shit at that show. Best shows, man, I don't know. I have been to a lot of concerts.
It's hard to kneel down.
Yeah, I've seen Pearl Jam a good, I don't know how many times, a bunch. I've seen them a bunch. Let's call it 10 times. I don't know. Some of those were really, there are moments you can have at a concert that is like a transcendent, like you're really in the moment, like, wow, holy fuck, this is awesome, and I've had a bunch of those. Wow, let's see. I don't know. I love seeing the band Steel Panther, especially in a small venue. They're kind of silly, I know.
I love that.
No show is more fun than Steel Panther.
And they're having fun doing it.
Oh, yeah. They are ridiculous.
Rock stars.
They're great players. They are honestly great players. Don't think that all their silliness voids how fucking legit they are as players. They are legit.
I've always put them in. I know it's not the same thing. Steel Panther's a different option. Remember Metalocalypse?
Yeah.
And Death Clock.
Sure.
That you listen to that, and I know it's lampooning it. That is not bad. Like the music's fantastic on that
Steel
show.
Panther are fantastic players.
Yeah.
Especially their earlier couple albums, I really love so much. But I still love them.
And to think that no one thought of that name before they had it. Steel Panther seems like a given. What's the name of this
Anytime
band?
Steel Panther comes through town, I want to be there. I've seen them a handful of times, and they're super fun. They're one of my favorite. Let's see. I don't know. So many. It's hard to think of one. But yeah, Steel Panther's great.
Yup.
All right, Jerry. All right, so, well, I don't know. What else? Is there any information about ourselves that is relevant to this? What do we need?
I don't know. I think
that's all for our messages.
I think that's it for the messages, but I also think, it's so cool to get feedback from other people.
Yeah, it is.
Starting this up, I only came here for a sound check. I had no idea. I thought I was just here to make sure your mics are right.
Yeah.
So like that's as far as the genesis of this show, Joseph had come up with the whole thing. He's got the Roadcaster and all this other stuff. And I had been and it's just, I'm gonna be God's honest truth, real stuff. I have been invited to this garage several occasions, and I didn't know he has a record club, and record club is really listening to music. I have had problems with people playing music at me my whole life, So it's like, and what do I do? The acting thing. What do I do with my hands? How do I act? What if I don't like this? Can I leave and come back in when it's over? Like, I have a reoccurring dream where I'm in the car with Meatloaf. And all like I'm driving and his song, like the what's the one? Let me sleep on it, baby, baby. That song, I forget the name of it off the top of my head.
Okay.
And it's like 15 minutes long, this song.
Wow.
But I pull over in the dream and I get out of the car and just sit in front of the car waiting for that song to be over, and then get back in and say it's not your fault, it's mine. Like I apologize to Meatloaf, but I don't want to hear his shit. But I came over here as a person. I came over here just to do mic levels. I thought that was what I was doing, and then it sort of mushroomed into this. But I
Don't talk about mushrooms, Jerry.
but it fungused into this, and it's been a wild journey so far. It's something I want to find time to do, and that fact that you guys are actually responding to it, which I didn't think, because if you want to look at what's out there, podcasts are everywhere. They are.
Sure.
All over the place.
Sure, they're popular.
They're very popular on different subjects. Checked out Winds of Change. Excellent.
Well, I mean, but let's be honest. Of all the podcasts out there, we're the best one. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
I mean, look at this setup. This is one of those places, like, you ever look at Stern's radio show, and I don't have to bring up another guy, but, like, you ever look at I want to be in that room.
Never heard of him.
I want to be in that room. Well, he's a popular New York disc jockey.
Is he?
Yeah, but the room looks cool. It's lit well, all this stuff. This just looks like fun. This looks cool.
This just looks like my garage with a sign.
But you live in it. I don't.
I do. It is unfortunate that I made the letters too far apart. I really do want to fix this sign.
It's nitpicking. But this is getting better and better, and I look forward to talking to everybody about it. So I mean,
This is one of those few times. Well, and we've talked about it. Like, much like the music of the early '90s, our podcast is one of these really lucky times where fine art sort of meets commercial success at the top.
Right.
They've honored what is objectively the best podcast with peak commercial success. So we're really
broadcasters.
We're really blowing it up here, guys.
And I know I won't find any time to do it, but I want to bring up the Noid.
Okay.
I just want to say it. The Noid.
Why?
It's a 90s thing. The Noid.
Just throwing that in
Look
there.
up the Noid.
Okay.
All right.
I wonder, guys, and I think our patron pal Jess mentioned earlier, just like, what do you want to know about your patrons? I'm trying to get, I do, like you just said, I love when we get any kind of feedback and stories and things. Like Dougie Style wrote us that whole, and I only read parts of his email. He wrote quite a bit describing, his experience with college radio and his blog and all this stuff.
All that.
And that's really interesting. I love to know sort of what led people to even be here with us. Not just how did you literally find the show, but, when did you come into this music, and what does it mean to you, and which bands mean more to you, and all that stuff.
It's a journey.
Yeah, I love to know all that stuff.
Journey.
The more feedback you guys can give us about the show and about yourselves, it's great.
So we want to volunteer, and it takes a village.
I should say before we get out of here, our website is thegrungepodcast.com. I urge everyone to go there. You can find links to all of our social media accounts, which are fairly active. Jerry does run the Twitter. All right. Make sure if you want to get at Jerry. I handle the Instagram and some Facebook stuff.
Very active, by the way. It's very
the
active.
show is available on YouTube. If you're into that, there's a link to that on our website, as well as links to subscribe to the podcast on all of the various podcasting platforms. You can send us email. You can do all the stuff. All right?
Always here for you.
All right, guys. We're going to get out of here. Remember, kids, fuck the police.
Fuck the police!